Hello, welcome to the weekly quick tip. Today we are going to go over how to make the most of your resume formatting so we can get as much as possible onto one page. A lot of students have this difficulty because, you have all this great information and there's so much you want to include, but we can only make so much fit. And we know we have to keep our resume to one page because an employer is only going to look at your resume first glance for less than 10 seconds. So the likelihood of them looking at page two is pretty slim. So it's really important that we adjust our spacing and margins and do whatever we can to make the most of that one page while still making sure it looks really nice and well laid out. So I'm going to share a fake resume with you. And this resume is based on the generic formatting for Microsoft Word. Okay, so we have the bigger margins, the spacing after each line, 12-point font, right? So we can see that we have all the right information, right? We have education, academic projects, experience, campus involvement, skills, all of these really good things that an employer would like to see if we're applying for an internship or a job. But it goes on to 3 pages, okay? And there's no way an employer is going to read all of that. So we have to find some ways to make some adjustments. Now we want to keep our name nice and big so it stands out, but maybe we can make the rest of the font a little bit smaller, and that can make a big difference. So let's highlight everything except our name. And let's say we take it down to 11. Okay. Now for font size, I wouldn't go any smaller than 10.5 just because then it starts getting really difficult to see. But 11 is perfectly fine to use. And that made a little bit of a difference, but we are still on 3 pages, and that's a lot. So maybe we want to select everything, and maybe we'll check out our spacing. Okay, our default is to have space after each paragraph, but if we remove that, then magically we get all the way up to 1.5 pages. So that makes a really big difference, having that spatial adjustment. Now it looks a little bit cramped, and that's okay. We can always go back and fix that once we get to seeing where we are on one page. And 2 pages is better, but we still want it on one page. So in this case, maybe what we'll do is we'll go to our layout and we'll check out our margins. Maybe we'll try narrow. Okay, narrow is 0.5 inches all around. Okay, and voila, we are on one page, which is super exciting. You can see we have a little bit of formatting changes to make make sure everything's all lined up the way it's supposed to be. We can add some adjustments to make sure that our spacing between each section is okay. You do want some white space to, break it up for the eye and make it a little easier to read. But you can adjust your spacing between sections. The default is to just, go with the next line, and it's the same font size as what you've been using. But you can make the lines between sections smaller. And we can also play around with our font. Even the font itself can make a difference in how much space it takes up. So for example, we can see Tahoma is a little bit bigger. It makes a difference there. Even playing around with some of the Arials, will make it stand out a bit. Cambria seems to be a little bit on the smaller side, so maybe that's a way to kind of reduce your spacing a little bit. So don't be afraid to try little things like that to see if it makes a difference. And of course, making adjustments, in terms of, well, maybe we can condense some of our bullet points, or maybe we can fit more information on one line rather than having them as two separate ones. There are plenty of other ways to condense your information, but this seems to be the basics of formatting that can make a big difference and really solve the majority of your spacing issues for your resume. So that is our weekly quick tip for this week. If you have any questions about your resume, you want someone to look over it for you, you have your own layout issues that you want addressed, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm always happy to help. Have a great day, a great week, and we'll see you soon.